Hey guys, welcome back. Tisha here, back for the final review for Love and Marriage DC of this season. Woo! Let me start off by saying this. A real man will not allow his wife to be put in situations where she continues to be disrespected, nor would a real woman put her husband in those situations either. There is far too much going on in this world to not make sure that you are protecting each other and providing one another with peace. And what I saw in this episode with Joy and Clifton were a lot of areas where they aren't covering each other. But sometimes this is what happens when you rush into things and you don't take the necessary time to truly get to know one another. If Carmen is really a close friend to Clifton, if she's really his best friend, then in my opinion, she would have never put Clifton in the position where he would need to choose. But the same way Clifton is flawed, Carmen is flawed too. And I just didn't like this whole segment because it seems like they had all these different exchanges and they got nowhere. Also, before I forget, I feel like Joy told us more in the confessional at the end of the season than we knew the whole entire episode, which makes me wonder what type of headspace she truly was in when it got to that point, because you can see her pain when she was talking about how she, number one, didn't feel protected, and even worse, that she didn't tell her husband that. That's weird to me. But let's begin. We begin this episode with Winter and Yusha still going at it. It's kind of ridiculous that we wasted time on this when I felt like there were other areas that we should have covered. Carlos brings up the whole Valentine's Day trip and all the mess that came with it. The subject of Black comes up and how Joy still feels like Black cheated on her best friend. Joy is telling Sherelle that despite whatever Black told you, he was at the tail end of his relationship whenever he got involved with you. And Black is saying he already told Sherelle what it was and that she knows the truth, so there's no need to tell her the truth. I don't understand why years later this is even something that is being talked about. The way that Joy comes at this situation sometimes to me feels like she was dating him and not her best friend. I want her to let it go. According to them, Sherelle was never a shy chick. I don't know how much I believe that, but that's their situation. It's not mine. He says that Sherelle was a prominent figure in the DMV. He took her home one time after event. Nothing came of it. He would inbox her here and there. They would have different conversations and things of that nature in regards to business. But he didn't talk to her on the phone or anything like that or see her for years. When he did, he would, handle business, as Sherelle said, or compliment her on her fitness journey, as he said. Carlos makes it clear sometimes whose side he's on, and he basically calls Black out for even being in Sherelle's DMs when he had a girlfriend. And maybe he's right. I personally don't feel like there's wrong with certain verbal exchanges if you're not hiding it. So if he complimented her on her fitness journey on a place where everybody can see, then whatever. But if he was in the DM saying certain things, that could be seen as sneaky. Black does admit that maybe he was wrong in some of his conversations that he had with her, but he did not cheat. They were not involved. They were not doing any of those things before he was done with the other lady. Carlos asks Yusha if there's anything else that he wants to say before he leaves to go promote his brand. And the cast laughing. I'm like, goodness gracious, Carlos is shady. Yusha says, all I think everybody needs to know is that Winter and I dated for 4 to 5 months. We did not have sex. that the last time I spoke to her, it was over 4 months ago. The last time I checked, she said that she needed space. And I said, all right, good, I'll let you have it. He thought that they would be good, but he says that apparently they can't be cordial because Winter is great for reality TV. She has her props and she has her wigs, and he's going on. And she's like, can you ask him to leave? And he says, can I use your broom to leave? And he says he just had to get one dig in. I feel like Winter does go overboard with her reaction. Nothing that she told us on this show warranted the type of visceral we were getting from her. You can be done with somebody and not do all of that. She makes it seem like it was more than what it was, but apparently she's moved on with somebody else that she was interested before him. So I don't even see why you continue the whole Yusha thing. But Winter's probably not coming back on the show, according to what she's saying on social media. Carlos tells her, can I give you some advice? Just take your time and do not rush things. And I hate that he says that, because Yusha just said that he didn't sleep with her. He said that we were together for 4 to 5 months and we didn't sleep with each other. So how slow would you like for her to go? I think that the only area, in my opinion, where she messed up was that she didn't take her time to really get to know him before she decided that it was okay to get her kids involved. I said it before, when it comes to the kids, I don't feel like they should be meeting your significant others unless you know that this is your person. If not, y'all, stop doing that to these kids. Stop having them get attached to people just to remove them from their lives. We come back from commercial break and we talk about the Pettys and Carmen. We see Arena saying that Carmen shouldn't be posting Clifton as much as she has. And we see the conversation that she had with Joy, and we see how others have said things as well. We're reminded of the clip where Carmen says that she does not consider Joy to be her best friend, that Clifton is, and she's basically friends with Joy because of Clifton. We are then shown an unaired clip where Raina is telling Jamie about the situation and letting him know that she told Joy. No one is surprised by the fact that Raina did this. Raina carries all types of bones. Not that I blame her, because if you're my friend, then I would do the same thing. If I heard you talking badly about another friend, I would have probably called you right there and right then, or text you and been like, you need to talk to your friend Carmen, because Carmen is over here saying some stuff. Find out from her what she said. I'd probably say something along those lines, but that's just me. We all handle things differently. Carmen walks out to no claps. Joy doesn't even want to look in her face. Carlos asks if the three of them ever had any type of threesome. They say no. Carlos asks Clifton, have you ever slept with Carmen? He says no. Carmen says that when it was the three of them, that they had an understanding and that they didn't have problems until Arena stepped in. Arena, being who Arena is, makes it about her, because they start going back and forth. And this isn't the Arena and Carmen segment. This was supposed to be about Joy. But Arena says, I didn't say anything except what you were doing was very inappropriate. Arena said what everybody else was thinking, whether we agree with her saying it or not. But if Joy, who was also privy to the things that were on social media, didn't say anything, then once Arena brought it up to her and she said, you know, she's not worried about it, it should have just been left alone. But we already know at that point, Arena didn't trust it. The segment, as I said, is supposed to be about them, but she keeps chiming in to the point where Joy is even like, Raina, I got it. But Raina's just trying to be a good friend, but it's a bit much. They keep going back and forth. Arena calls her a raggedy non-mother effing factor, tells her to get a man. Getting a man is such a tire read. Like, okay, get a man and then what? She can have business without having to have a man. It's stupid. We find out that they have not spoken since Jamie's party, because shortly after she was blocked, which means she didn't even talk to Carmen to find out what Carmen had to say, because as we all know, we've seen it, Raina changes up what she says sometimes. It's funny how we didn't mention any of the stuff that Raina did, like the whole situation where she made a scene of herself at that political event, or how Jamie them still haven't gotten help for little Jamie, but we're wasting our time talking about this situation. Okay. Joy says, why wouldn't you talk to me about it with people why would you talk to them about, the situation with you and me or whatever, with people who don't like me, and some of those same people don't like you? She says she don't care if they like her or not. She was telling the truth, the same truth that she said to them before. She says, I didn't say you weren't my friend. My friend, I said you weren't my best friend. Joy says, you saying that I don't like the way you move and all that other stuff is not anything that you should have said to them. Joy tells her that I love you, but I wouldn't have done that to you. Carmen is Clifton's friend. And even the way that she was sitting there while Joy was kind of spilling out her heart a little bit shows that she don't care. And I wouldn't be surprised, no matter what Carmen says, if she wanted more with Clifton than that. Clifton says him and Carmen never had a romantic relationship. She's beautiful. He just, that wasn't who he wanted. He wanted Joy. We find out that Joy has Carmen blocked. So Carlos asks, can you be best friends with Carmen if your wife does not like your best friend? And rather than saying yes or no, his response is he feels like they're having a communication error and they'll work it out. That's not good, because he should have chose his wife. We can say whatever we want to say about Quick. A lot of us don't agree with certain things that he's done, or you might have felt like he should have called Ashley out on some things. Whether he did so in private or not, we don't know, but in public they're going to be united and he's going to support his wife. And I feel like Clifton doesn't have his wife's back. Carmen says if Clifton did something, she would call him out on it too. That's the type of person that she is. Carmen feels like Joy did not defend her enough with the throuple allegations. She said, because you look one way and I'm automatically going to look like I'm a hoe. We see a clip of Joy. We're in confessional. She's not happy. She says she's always wanted to be protected, and she did not feel like she was protected in D Greek. And she doesn't feel protected with Clifton still being partners with Carmen and still her best friend. She says she loves Clifton with all of her heart, but when it comes to Carmen, they will never be on the same page, which is interesting because if you all remember when Ashley and him got into it and Ashley said that she doesn't like her husband, and Joy had talked about inviting her to the birthday party, one of the things that Clifton said was if the roles were reversed, he wouldn't be inviting somebody that doesn't like him to the party. So why don't you have your wife's back in this situation? And why aren't you protecting her in these roles and making sure that she's okay with the fact that you're friends with somebody she no longer wants to be friends with? She said that in Deep Creek, no one said anything when everything was going on, that she felt like she was doing this by herself. She wanted Clifton to pull her out, but he says he didn't pull her out of the situation because she kept on going and going and going. And if she kept going, he didn't feel like he needed to say anything, which I could see him saying that. Joy wants Clifton to have her back, to say out loud, Carmen, what you did was effed up. And when he's given the chance, he don't say it. I told y'all before, Clifton is a big... Clifton tries to act like he's a man's man and the protector of women. But Clifton is flawed too, because your wife is sitting here still having a problem with this woman and you're not saying outright that she's wrong. Carlos had to pep talk him into saying it, and he struggles with saying it. He says that he feels like her choice of words was wrong. That's semantics. Joy says they have rough parts that's going on in their marriage, but what marriage doesn't. They're new to being married. We still don't know when exactly they got married, but apparently it was early on. There isn't as much tension as there was when we saw that clip. Carmen then apologizes that Joy didn't feel valued, and she receives it, but she's not apologizing for what she did or said because she's standing in it. And I mean, I'm not going to fault Carmen for standing on her stuff. I do feel like Carmen was wrong for having that conversation to that depth with those people, especially without talking to Joy about it. and seeing as to how Joy already felt, you know, ganged up on and apparently defeated. But that's their situation. We come back from commercial break. Everybody says what they're working on. Carlos hopes they figure out how to move forward. And that is that. Y'all, I'm not going to try to stretch this out because it wasn't worth stretching out. I feel like this season was a lot of a disappointment. There's so many other things that I wish they would have shown us about these people. Quick worked so much. Let's follow Quick some more and see him working. Their son supposedly is working now too. Let's see him do some stuff. Let's really get to the depths of what's going on with Joy, why Joy isn't feeling protected. Her and Clifton do seem a little off to me. And I don't know if it's because this whole situation is bringing up stuff, but it seems like Raina had her back more than her own husband did. Y'all, tell me what you think down below. Sorry this is so short, but I'm not going to push it. I think I am planning on coming back for Love and Marriage, the Huntsville. But my intentions are to probably not give an in-depth review. It would probably be something short like what this is, because it's easier for my peace of mind. But you all, let me know down below what you thought overall of this season. For those of you who only come for Love and Marriage Huntsville, go ahead and check out some of my other content. I am reviewing the Bridgerton series. I have started with season 1. At this point, I have episodes 1 through 6 up there. Episode 7 will be up there Monday at 12. I have some additional book read-alongs coming out. Currently, we are reading 50 Years in Polygamy. It's a really good book. Check out some of the other ones that are up there. I read and give a little bit of commentary. I have my crime series that I gotta get further back into. I just released something the other day, but I want to try to do that more frequently because I enjoy crime and I watch a lot of crime. It just takes a little bit longer to write some of the notes because I want to make sure that I'm being as accurate as possible. And what else? Just look on my thing. There's some movie reviews up there too. It's going to be a little bit of wiggle room for me because there's a lot of graduations coming up. My niece is graduating with her master's, woo woo, and my best friend is graduating with her PhD. So I'm very proud of y'all. Love y'all. And to my YouTube family, thank you so much for being with me through this season. I know it was, sketchy at times. Until next time.